My nigga just picked up a needle from a friend to a fiend. I his uncle that he said he never beat. My nigga just picked up a pistol. He was dreaming of the league, and now a dream is all he'll ever be. Is sell it what he'll always see. We just wanted better things. We ain't asked for everything, but the money here unsettling, and I could barely see me satisfied.
First, we gotta talk about how are you doing right now, especially with quarantine going on. What has that been like?
I'm fine. Like I'm fine. I'm right in the middle of the Bronx. Like it's I mean, I feel like if you have the right mindset, then it's a growing experience. Like like I see, like when I see things, I pretty much like see it for the future. Like I'm waiting to see like like what's the aftermath of everything. But it's cool. Though. I just been at home. I get out when I can. I can't get the food. We can't
Yeah.
get the food we want. That's probably like the worst part. Everything else.
That that's such a fact, especially I feel like people from New York, we can get all types of food, so it's very weird now with everything being limited. It's like, oh, like I really want Chinese food, which sounds crazy because, everybody eats Chinese food, but I'm like, well, I haven't had Chinese food in like 6 months, so
No, yeah, I got Chinese food the other day, but it took like 2 hours. There's only one person working in the store. Like it's crazy. It's
two
crazy.
hours.
Many rules, yeah, yeah.
Oh
So I just
man. That's insane. You know what? So I really got to jump into the music because there are so many lyrics that I really, really loved. And I was like, I wouldn't be able to ask you in 1 hour. There's no way. So I'm just going to jump right into it. First, I got to ask you, when was the first time you noticed that you really catch listeners' attention? It's like you listen to a song and then it's like, whoa, wait, hold on.
um probably I would say probably around like 2013, 2014, like graduating, like when I was like around graduating because somebody just said a funny ass comment. That's my man's right there. He talking about he think me and him got beef. He trying to start a beef with me. I don't know why. I'm
Oh, okay,
sorry,
yeah. I was
but
like, Insider?
no so. Yeah, what was I saying? I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you?
Oh no, it's okay. You were saying in 2013 that's when you noticed that you really had people's attention. Like when they listen to you, they like, "Whoa, what is this?"
Yeah. So the thing is, when I write music, I feel like I base it solely on like my experiences as a child growing up. You know. So when I write, it was at first it was never really too inspired. I was just like kind of expressing myself. So like when people started to relate, and it was probably around 2013. All I would do is like just sit home, rap, probably play 2K, like just I was just
Right.
couch potato, like a little turd, like just sitting there, like and like somebody hit me up like, yo, your music, you don't understand how much you inspired me to do this and that, and like after that, I was just like like I saw that music isn't just only like people do listen to music, but people want to feel it also, like so it's like when people naturally felt the things I went through, it made me want to kind of go deeper into that because I feel like even though I did have those experiences, I wasn't like those people who were looking out for help. I always felt like there were going to be brighter days. So at the end of the turmoil, I always just make sure like people know that like where life has its bad is gonna have its good. Like.
Yeah, that's very true. And I love that saying because everybody's going to go through something. So it's important to stay uplifted through everything, good and bad. And I definitely get that vibe from your music. It's very calm, peaceful, but it's also talking about the real, like things that people I feel like are scared to talk about and to have opinions on too, at that.
Right.
So, I wanted to know, does anybody in your family have musical talents? Because listening to you, it just seems like so much wisdom, so much knowledge. Shout out to everybody in the live, by the way. Shout out Nina.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out everybody in here. I think yeah, I've plenty of musical people. Like music just ran my whole life. My mom was in the church choir. I went to church for 6 years. Um,
Mm.
my dad was in the R&B band. My dad was a Rolling Stone. He got 32 kids. A lot of them make music. So like it was just kind of embedded into me as a kid. Like just going around.
Yeah.
All you hear is music. Like when you didn't have TV, all you had was music. So my older brother, he raps. He raps a lot. He like he was the first person that I saw rapping, him and my cousin, like, but they were okay, like they were decent. So once I saw that, But yeah, music
Well,
is everywhere in my family.
that's super dope. But because when I was listening to you, I definitely can hear that you've been rapping for a minute. Like it sounds like it's not something that you just woke up and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this tomorrow." Like a lot of skill in there. So, who were the artists that you were growing up listening to on the radio?
A lot of like Most Def, Talib Kweli. Uh,
Hmm.
a lot of my mom had a CD player. She had everybody's CD, but she had like 90 stuff or like thousands. Like a lot of like Bobby V, Joe, New Edition, like Soul for Real, like Monica. That was like,
Nice.
and I feel like R&B really, it gives you like this sense of like, um, you're able to be more descriptive like with the way you write because like that's really what inspires me like R&B music because like the way they take like inanimate objects and kind of like personify them like if you bring that to rap is an amazing thing too like.
Yeah, and I definitely peep that you do that because I think, yeah, when you hear R&B, you feel it like it hits your soul. When you make music, you feel it. It's not just like a fast beat or something like that. So I love the fact that you mentioned that it comes from you listening to R&B
Right.
and that you're putting purpose in everything. So I got to go into No Quiet in the City. Why did you trade NO for no?
Because it's just a play on words, like kind of because I feel like people who are from the city. Well, me personally, I could vouch for myself when I go other places like Virginia. My mom lives in Virginia, so like I go out there and visit a lot. It's
Hmm.
too quiet, like you know what I'm saying. It's too quiet to a point where I can't even like function, like so like when I'm in the city, like there's no quiet here, but it's peaceful to you because it's what you used to. Like I'm used to hearing the construction
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like that's my piece. Like I do like, I know quiet in the city, even though there's no quiet in the city, like, basically.
Oh, that's dope. So it's like peace for you being in the city, even though it's not actually quiet. It's just comfortable.
Right. And like I try to like just portray how beautiful I think like New York is because I feel like, everybody like tries to leave, like, or if they from here, they talk bad about it. But like, I feel like I'm like trying to get like deeper into it, like metaphorically at least, like, like helping communities and just instead of saying, oh, it's bad, I'm gonna leave, you could say, oh, it's bad, I'm gonna change it. A lot of people don't feel like.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like you definitely have the power to do that with your music. Like, for instance, what is self doubt but just a locked door? That line really stood out to me. But the soul only grows, it don't get old. Facts. My dad left but never got back, like Star 69. Like all of these lyrics in the beginning, I was like, wow, that's super, super dope. And I feel like you were letting people know who you really are. So, was there a line in there that was hard for you to say? Because I feel like you're so truthful that it has to be a little tricky, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve when I write though. I try not to hold back. Like, I had a
Yeah.
real childhood, household, whatever. I had a really abusive childhood and it came at the hands of my stepfather. So, like it's somebody shouldn't even be hitting you. So, like when I reach into those, like I think my favorite bar in that song is a movie called 1408. It's like a scary movie. The actor in it, his name is John Cusack, and that's actually the sample in the song. If you watch the movie, they have that song "We've Only Just Begun." They sampled
Mhm.
the movie. So I said, I said something about um the house was haunted, or the lashes, or the bruises. So this is one for '08, but I am no John Cusack. Like, I'm doing it for the old me. Like this is one for 2008 when I was, you know what I'm saying, when life wasn't so good, like when things was like haunted.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You have a lot of references too. I'm like, I don't know if it's the music, the movies, in combination. If you have love for history, because it's like you listen to your music and you're like, oh, that ties here, 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 here. It's not just like referencing the block.
Nah, yeah. Well, first of all, I was a geography tutor in ninth grade. Like
Oh,
history is my
that's why.
and I watched a lot of TV growing up. Like anybody, like everybody who like we play charades with and stuff. Like they want to be on my team because they know I know everything. I'm like my pop culture is up there. Like I stay in tune like all the time.
Yes, definitely. I could tell from your music. I'm like, wow, he knows a lot. There was one line though I wanted to ask you about. I used to have to retake tests when I did too good.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
And I think it was probably like 10th grade or like 11th grade. I had a math teacher, and what's crazy is this math teacher, he got arrested for stalking another student, but previously, and they still like had him working there. So he was my math teacher, and when I was taking my math regents, um, I did too good, so they made me retake it like the mock regents, like to take the real
Wow.
regents, they retake it because they thought I cheated. I did cheat. I cheated. Be honest, I did cheat though. I did cheat.
Oh,
Strong suit. So like the second time around when I had to retake the test, what you call that? I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, like all the answers I already circled, he circled them with a red pen, so I couldn't go back and change my answer. So it's like, what if I want to, go back and look over my test? The teachers tell you to. But the second one, I ended up passing it without cheating, so it was whatever.
no, that's what's up. That's what's up. And that's crazy the fact that you said that. I knew it was going to be a story like that. I feel like most artists, and it's sad, but growing up when you're in school, there's always a teacher or somebody that doubts you, even though in this case you did cheat, but still.
That's the second time without cheating, so.
Exactly, which is amazing. I love that. I mean, but I feel like everybody honestly has that story. I do. So,
I mean, when I feel like teachers, they just, they in a sense, I feel like teachers will try to add fuel to the fire by telling you like crazy things, but I really had teachers who were just like worried about like getting paid. Like when you got those teachers, those are like the worst type. Like they don't give a damn.
yeah. No, that's true, and it is unfortunate because I think a lot of people, not a lot, but some people go into that career like they know it's good money, and yeah, it's like you got to be more than that because it's hard. That's definitely a hard job.
Yeah, you got to learn how to personalize with kids. Like a lot of kids, that's their escape at the end of their school.
Yeah.
You know, that was my escape, being around my friends. Like so, like it felt like the world is against you. Like
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about that too because your music, I feel like, will help people who are going through something, who have similar stories, or even not. They just might be feeling like they're living in a world that is not the way that they want it to be per se. So, if I was to look through your Apple playlist or whatever company you use for streaming, who would be some of the artists on your most played songs playlist?
if you go through my playlist, you'll probably just find like heavy J Cole. Like I just downloaded all the Day 26 old music. But as far as inspirational music, I'll say select few. Like I'll listen to like "Sky's the Limit" by Biggie. Like that's a big one for me. Um, but that's about it though. That's really about it. I can't say my playlist is heavy right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those times where, you do need uplifting music. So I like the fact you did mention like J. Cole and Sky's the Limit. Definitely positive right there. You make conscious music rather than drill music or trap, but I did hear some records where I was like, okay, this one's a little different, a little different. So for conscious music, what makes you fall in love with it? Like what makes it be that lane for you?
I mean, the thing, I feel like it goes back to like if you like take it like back from the denomination of conscious music and bring it up into music. I feel like music was always supposed to be like tough to make, to write. It should be tough. You should always challenge yourself when you're writing. Um, the conscious thing, I feel like it just came with who I was. You know what I'm saying? Like the drill route is not, I'm not gonna say it's too easy because it's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some tough music out there that is like, they really did get creative. Like they had to get creative for that. But I just feel like if you able to tell a story through your music and like structure that's like a true talent. Like you know what I'm saying? To tell a story and to make it rhyme and everything, like that's tough to do right there. Like so, but I know like the end scene. I never really focus on like what is really in because like I feel like what I'm doing is there's more longevity in it because people do
Mm.
out of like certain tastes and stuff and like conscious music will always be in like when you're growing up as you growing up like you hit them ages like you want to hear certain stuff and that's just that's what people like
Yeah, that's true. I definitely feel like as you get older, the music hits differently. Like if I go back and listen to Lauryn Hill now, it's definitely a whole nother vibe than when I was growing up.
Right. I feel that's another thing. I was just asking my friend, when was the last time a song actually gave you goosebumps or gave you chills? Like, can you remember like the most recent time a song did that to you? Like,
Yeah, yeah, it probably would be Mary J. Blige, because I feel like, when you listen to her songs, they're passionate. It's pain, but you ain't really go through that. Like when Mary was, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you relating to? Like even Keisha Cole, it's like you wasn't crying, you wasn't married for 11 years, like, you know?
true, but and that's the thing. Like, those are songs that you could go back to and listen to and still feel. Like the songs that people are making now, you can't really feel them. You hit a beat, you like the sound, and that's about it. When's the next hot thing coming out?
Exactly. But for you, yeah, what's the last song that gave you goosebumps?
I couldn't even tell you right now. It was probably when KOD came out, J. Cole's album.
Mm,
He was
okay.
preaching to me on that one. I like that one.
Yeah, I love that. I love that too. When you listen to something and then all of a sudden you feel like it definitely hit, it like hit your soul. Like that's amazing. I did feel something when I was listening to Kinda Hurt, right? That Kinda Hurt. You ain't never seen someone so meek go make a milli. And I was like, yo, that's an interesting line. And you said it twice.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's get into that for you, because it is true. A lot of the people who make it are very, very flashy. It's a different vibe, but a lot of people who make it have the same energy. So I am curious to know more about that.
Um, I feel like it's just a matter of when people do make it, they expect you to. They want to see you every day. They want to see you post, and when you create a certain image for yourself, like take for example Little Uzi. I feel like along the way he kind of wanted to drop the rock star image because he's from Philly. He's a Philly dude. He's just like Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? And if you listen to his old music, he wasn't really on that type of time he's on now. The rock star type. He was really rapping. So I say like just be meek and like be in my own character because that's who I am as a person first and foremost, and secondly because I can't see myself doing anything like controversial. Like everybody says no publicity is bad publicity, but I try to like stay away from it regardless because I just feel like somewhere along the line we have to bring back real talent being recognized and being paid like instead of just a look, an image that people, eventually want to get out of, and then you see them fighting record labels and everything. And like that's why it's just better to go in as yourself and try to end like that.
Yeah, I definitely respect that. And I did get that vibe from your music too, where it's like, don't lose your soul trying to chase something. And we definitely going to get into those lyrics. I do got to find out from you one artist that you could collaborate right now, famous. Who would it be?
One artist right now, Young Thug, definitely Young Thug.
Really? Okay, why is that? He's mad talented though.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like he could do anything. He could jump on anything. As people say they can't hear him, but if you can't hear him, he is saying something every time. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he does have certain songs where he did get real, and he talks about how he's a father to so many kids, and he does this, why he does that. He explains himself throughout his journey. So when like people look at him and put him in like the mumble rap category, but I would put him in an experience type rapper category because he talks about his experience. He does it in weird ways, but it sounds good. But like just deeper as an artist, I fuck with him. I would definitely make a song with him all the time. I make a whole album.
I think that's interesting because he knows how to switch his flows really, really well on a song. It's like it may start out one way, but he can do it in a way where you don't even notice he changed it. But you do that too, which is really cool. It's like it'll be one way and all of a sudden you'll switch the flow and it works. And not a lot of people can do that. So I can definitely see you guys pairing together and that would be really, really cool. The lyrics don't sound as good when I say it, so feel free to jump in because I know it doesn't sound like a flow. So you guys
I
you
feel
gotta bear with me here.
I know what you. I got you. Yeah, that's once I get the money, it's straight investment time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've had points in my life where I was broke. I've had points in my life where I had a lot of money. So, as to where people say money will change me, I feel like it's not. I feel like I know I know the right things to do with it. Like, I want to do the whole business thing. Like my friend Lou, the one who I was talking about in the song, he's big on business. So like, we talk about inventions all day, every day. My first thing, you want to hear my first invention? My first invention, right?
Yes.
I got to get this copyrighted. I'm gonna put like scanners on the supermarket shopping carts. So you basically, like, how online it keeps a cart for you. So on your
Hmm.
much is in your cart. So it saves you the embarrassment from trying to put stuff back, and you know what you're running up while you shop. That's a good idea.
That's a brilliant idea. I love that idea. Please do that because it does suck if you're in the store and you're like, okay, that's $1.99. This is $12.99. What is tax?
When you get to the register, you like put that back. You don't got to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I got to say hi, mom. My mom just joined. That's my mom right there.
Hey, shout out to mom.
Not the mom, my number one fan.
Yes, I love that.
Want to go? Like we sit here and we watch like Shark Tank. I don't know if you know. Do you know what that show is? Shark Tank. We
Yeah, where,
all
oh,
day
you do that.
and we fake pitches. Like nah, they wouldn't like that. They not gonna like that. So we just getting ready. You know.
That's dope. And I love how you went into it because I was about to ask you, I'm like, are you trying to do tech? Like, where are you trying to go? Because, when you talk about buying property and stuff like that, it's important. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't pay attention to that. Instead, they pay attention to like the hottest fashion or the hottest whatever is going on. So that's really dope. And yeah, shout out to she, by the way, because she definitely said, please copyright that. And I agree because that's a dope idea.
Out the sheet.
Yeah, so I want to get into who am I kidding? I need money I can climb on. There's a lot of brands that I haven't got to try on, and that's from My Way Freestyle. Now, I really respected this line because so many artists are quick to say Versace, Gucci, Prada, but it's like, why don't y'all be real? Because some people get the clothes, then they return it, or whatever the case may be, and it's like just be real so people can relate too. Because it's great that we have music that the people who are rocking it and be like, yeah, yeah, because that's dope. Because if you can afford it, that's amazing. But what about those out there who didn't get there yet? So I
Right.
like the fact that you come from another angle. So I want to talk about why it was important for you to just keep it 100 on that. And then what are some of your dream brands to rock and why?
Um. Probably. I mean, I really meant it in like cause the whole song I was just like talking local, like you know what I'm saying. Like like one of my friends, his name is Dottie. He got like a great clothing line, and I'm trying to like we motivate each other to like he pushed me with my music, I push him with his clothes, like just and in that sense, like there's a lot of brands that I haven't got to try on, like like there's a lot of things that I haven't had to do yet, so. But as far as like expensive stuff, like I don't really like. I'm not a fashion person at all. At all. I stay away from that. It's not my lane whatsoever. I go Nike, and I just tell I hit my friend up, send me some shirts, and I tell like I'm big on like I really like one thing about me is I'm real. If something is you don't mind if I curse, right? I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine.
If a corporation seems like they are like fuck the customer, then I say fuck them too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
I cannot rock with somebody who's making $3 shirts and selling them for thousands of dollars. Like that's just not something you do to your consumer. That's just something you do to benefit yourself. That's not really like and people do that just off like the name. So, and it's like the name was nothing, just like anybody else's at one point. The name Gucci meant nothing until he made it that. And he stuck a price tag on that name. So like what Robinson means nothing right now, but if I get famous and I slap a $3,000 tag. But I'm no different than anybody else, just like he is, So I don't really like stuff like that. I can't get with that.
right, right. I understand. It definitely is the name. That's a fact. So it's interesting that you had that spin on it too, because when I heard the line, I was like, huh, that's different. Like, definitely usually hear it from the other end. So that's pretty cool. So like I said, there's a lot of lyrics that I really love, a lot of songs on here I really love. But before we go any deeper, what is your favorite song on this specific project and why?
Probably the song "Thoughts." It's
Mm.
I like that song because I feel like a lot of it was basically talking about how artists are dying and how their name becomes like so much more solidified after they die. And it's funny because J. Cole has a song called "Lights Please," and
Yes, I love that song.
but he's basically having a conversation with a female while he's in bed with her, and he's like basically like telling her ways like he could fix the world, and like she's kind of just like like brush it off, like you're gonna be okay. And that's kind of the structure I wrote the song in. I said it at the end, like ain't no Netflix song. We talk about the world and chill. She told me perfect ways to fix it. We imperfect still, and like just stuff like that. And it was just a play on how just I talk about my thoughts a lot, and I don't really get them out there. Thoughts are just thoughts until you kind of actually act on them. To dream big is still just dreaming. So that was pretty much what that was about.
Now that's really dope, and I love the fact that you go back because Lights Please is like 2014, like it's back. So I love the fact that when you're a fan of an artist, like you're legitimately a fan. So that's hard.
And that's
Yes.
if this is no place for preachers, I'm exactly where I need to be. Like so it just goes along with the whole like don't be scared to get your thoughts out there. Like this is the world feels like is in no place for a hero right now, but that's exactly what they need at the end of the day. Like there's no place for preachers, but really what we need. Like
Environments, right? So I just pray that when God judge you, he show you mercy and may the life you chose serve as a good attorney because God made success, make a man made earnings, right?
right.
So that's so dope. So first I gotta ask, do you read the Bible? Because your music is very conscious. I love the points that you talk about, and I wonder if it helps in your process of keeping you balanced as a person.
I mean, I read the Bible growing up. I don't,
Hmm.
but like church was another thing that I kind of felt like I was outside looking in because as much as the stories in the Bible seem like crazy, like if you apply them to like real life, like you kind of get a sense of like what decision you should make or what route you should take. So I do believe in God though, like heavy, like you know what I'm saying. Like so, I just always say like life is your attorney at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all you got when you're getting judged. So do the right thing, have integrity, like Lee.
Yes, that's dope. And it just made sense because it's like all your music, the message stays the same. It never changes because you do have songs where you talk about would you sell your soul for this and stuff like that. And I wanted to know from you too, what advice would you give to people out there who's dealing with situations where it's like where they want you to change who you are and they want you to be different and they want you to do something that you're so against, but you feel like this is my one opportunity, but you know it goes against everything you stand for.
My only advice is that just remember, like you're gonna be 50 one day, and like that image that people wanted that people chose for you, like the same people who chose it when you can't keep up, they out. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I say like great friendships, and you could apply this to this. Like great friendships are kind of you choose the characteristics that you are willing to accept. You make a sacrifice for certain people. Like my friends, certain friends have terrible characteristics, but for the sake of the friendship, you keep that connection because you care about them. So I feel like as an artist, find people who do care about the real you instead of like there's always gonna be that crowd. Like no book goes unread. Like you know what I'm saying? Like every book gets picked up once in a while. So like there's a crowd for every type of book, artist, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
type of artist. So I just say if you're not being accepted in the place you in as yourself, like don't adjust to the place. Like go somewhere where you feel welcome through the door, and you're gonna get your fan base. Like you're gonna find them. They out
That's
there.
so dope. Yeah, I love that. Shout out, I am immense. Thank you. No, but I love the fact you said that because I do think people should stick to themselves. Because I think when you change and then the next person decides to do what you wanted to do and they blow, you can't go back because now all of a sudden you're fake, even though that's who you were. So
I,
I love the fact you brought that up.
people's opinions are really like paralyzers. So you know, like you can't be in a place where you're just getting crowded by like negative opinions because you just, you know, self doubt is a locked door. Once you get over that doubt, you know, that door open. You don't really give a fuck what nobody think about what you're making because it's you.
Right, exactly. And I did want to ask you, and this was like a really, really dope line to me. Chasing a name, do something strange, popularity gained, who's to blame? We made fame.
Right.
Boom. So I got to get your take on this because I wonder, do you wish people didn't chase so hard, or do you wish the famous were more humble and didn't forget what the journey was like? What is your take on that?
My take is that, you know, it's all about the fans. Like I said, like we make fame, we make people famous. The people who watch, you know what I'm saying? Like so, it's therefore like they, well, it's kind of like a double edged sword because you know you see what they like and you be that, like you know. So or I say like you know you gain popularity by doing something crazy, but whose fault is it that you gain popularity? Like you know what I'm saying? Like not really yours. Because you're not the only one. If you look at yourself, that's one viewer. You know, so like,
That's so true. I love that. So you do have a video, Mountains, right? So
right.
I want to get into that. What made you pick this song specifically to do a visual for?
Mountains. Cause it's like the perfect underdog story. Like it's a perfect underdog song. Like you know, I described my life perfectly. Like all my friends' life. You know, all of us. Like it was never really a me thing. Like I've always had friends. Like and life was always good. As bad as it was, like I had a team who saw things for the better. Like um, but yeah. So like it was not right. So it was just like it was just, it felt perfect. Like I was just with all my friends. Like you know, my mans wanted to shoot a video. So when certain things fall in place, I don't question it. I just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just the perfect timing.
Oh, that's so dope. Okay, so this was shot during like, when a time in New York where everything's a little questionable or a lot questionable.
Started like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. Wow. Okay. All right. So that's dope.
Probably shot it like 4 days before I put it out.
Wow, that's a very, very quick turnaround. That's fire. I mean, I love the fact that you're still dedicated because I feel like a lot of people were scared to go outside, or they're just thinking to themselves, "Well, we're just gonna wait." And so I love the fact that you're continuing to go and push on no matter what, through everything. And that's what I get from your music too.
Now,
And there, mm-hmm.
I mean, that was another thing that I was saying at the beginning with these toms. Like, you know, you either use it as like a like stagnancy or you just kind of you push through it. And that's like this time is gonna say a lot about people's characters. Like all those rappers who you know stuck with an image who can't really show it because they can't like perform anything right now. They in a funk right now because all they have is themselves. It's not enough. Like you know, 'cause they
Exactly.
nowadays suck.
Yeah, I think it definitely changes a lot of people's perspective and like their thoughts because at the end of the day, what are you gonna do, right? Like you said. And that was a question I had for you in terms of your concepts, because like I said, your music stands out. The lyrics, like listening to your music, it makes my face change. It's like, oh wait, hold on. Like I had to replay your music because it was so good. So concepts like Heaven for a Rapper, how did that come about? Because that's just unique. It was funny because I remember Tupac when his music was out, he would talk about that too. And it's funny how you mentioned it in your song.
Yeah. Now that's all. I don't even really know how I thought of that. It was just uh it was pretty random. It was definitely pretty random. Oh, you know what it is? My friend Marcus. My friend Marcus has a picture in his house. And it was kind of like the cover of the song. Like it has those artists in the back. It's basically that picture, but I just added myself and my friend who's on it. So like I think I was just like lit in his house one day and I was just staring at that picture. And I was just like, you know, like if you could make like a perfect heaven for a rapper, like what would it look like? Like it would be amazing. Like it would look like Summer Jam. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the people who would be there. And I just like kind of constructed that into a song. Like you know.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I mean, and that's like a really important thing that I wanted to know from you. What is one thing that you really hope people hear when they hear your music and even when they think of your name?
Just positivity, like, like just understanding that life is gonna have problems, so you got to be happy on top of it. Like, it's okay. Like, we made to feel two things at once. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Hmm.
you're happy and sad. That's regular. Like, that's just how emotions work. Like, so just try to like let the happiness outweigh that, because like, you know what I'm saying? Like, being sad don't make your rent go down. Being sad don't pay the light. You know what I'm saying? So just because at the end of the day, your problems are gonna exist on your deathbed. Like, those are still gonna be the problems you went through, and you're just gonna kind of wish that you were happy through them instead of letting them kind of like get you down. So that's pretty much what I hope people hear when they listen to me. Just try your best to see through that hard time. Like, it's always light at the end of the tunnel. Always, no matter what. Like, we don't even got it the worst in New York. Like, I always say, like, people in like third world countries who don't really have TVs, they don't really know what easy is. So we come from a culture where we have classes. They have one class. So what they see is what they know. Like, so they learn to be happy in the dirt, basically. So like a lot, like we always get like stained by discomfort, like amongst our peers, even like when somebody's doing better, you kind of want to do better, but sometimes you got to just like see that like what you have is enough, because you'll just always be chasing and looking, like like so. I just try to tell people, like, just look around and like just see that you have. Like, if you have, then you should see a reason to be like
Wow, that's so dope.
bad.
Wait, what was that? I'm sorry.
That down, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, yo, I heard bars in your answer, but I didn't want to say anything, but you definitely have bars in that response. That's dope. And I was reading some of the comments. Shout out to SV Culture. She was like, "Facts, your lyrics are dope." So I did want to ask you, is there one lyric that you feel like is that one lyric where you're like, "Yo, I can't believe I wrote that."
It's gonna be funny to you, but I'm honestly being honest, like, because I like short, sweet bars. Like, those are my favorite. That they have a meaning. Like, for example, like Jadakiss said, no housewarming, crib hot already. Like, that's so tough to me because it's so short, but like, what I'm saying, but it has meaning. So in one of my songs, I said I was too tired like a bike, but nobody gets it because it's like two tires. Bikes have two tires, but I said I was too. I think that's like my favorite thing that I ever wrote. Like,
Yo, that does take a little bit of explanation. No cap. Like it sounds dope, but I feel like I would have played it back and I'd be like, I don't know. Like because it goes overhead sometimes.
bike? You mean like you bike riding or something? I'm like, no, like a bike has two tires, like too tired, you know?
Now that's fire. It is.
But
That- I'm so glad I asked you that because I would have never guessed, like at all, that you would have said something so short and sweet though. But that's pretty fire.
like, those are my favorite type of bars. Straight to the point.
Right. And the one that I'm actually getting ready to go into is so funny because it's definitely not short.
Yeah, I got a lot of those too.
Yeah, but those are like so fire. Like so Grew Up to me was a very, very powerful record and I'm glad you made it your last single. And you do mention stuff like we grew up too fast. I think a lot of people can agree to that. And I say this all the time because I talk to my friends about this. I'm like, why did the 20s look so amazing? And I blame Dipset. Personally, I blame Dipset because all I remember is fast cars, money, a pink fur coat, and just, I don't know, it just looked amazing. Then you reach your 20s and you're like, this is not what I saw.
Yeah, it's true. Sorry. No, but yeah, not definitely. Like, I feel like, especially where we from, where in New York, we started working when we were 16, 17. So when we stagnant for 1 month or like this time, it's easy to feel depressed because you used to being productive. This is what we do. We don't stand still. Like, we from the city that never sleeps. Not used to slowing down. So when we got to like 20 and stuff, we thinking like, oh, like, this is when the work pays off. Like, this is when it's supposed to happen. Like, I just worked for like 4 or 5 years. I'm 21. Like, let the hard work pay off. But on the contrary, though, I always say that, on the opposite side of that, there are people who go to college and like live like with their parents and get to go to university and live a good life. So I feel like once you look at that, you'll see that, you're not too far behind. You just didn't really get a head start. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow, that was deep. Like I feel like that's very motivational. Like that line right there, that's dope. Yeah, that belongs in a song, by the way. Just saying. So the line I was gonna get into was you tell your worst story while you drink your favorite bottle. That's hard. With all this self-inflicted damage to your love life, you the soon to be positive your blood type. And I was like, yo, that is so deep. And especially like when you watch movies, that's like everything in entertainment. Drinking is just involved with everything
right,
embedded. So that's a fact. People do say things that they wish they did not say, and they're usually drinking in the rooms where they need to be on point the most.
right, and saying stuff they have no business saying, like, and yeah, that's another thing. Like when we basically lived our whole lives as teens. Them 4 years. I can't speak for most, but I started smoking in eighth grade. Like I was like I had access to liquor at a young age. Like, what I'm saying, we all grew up too fast. Like by the time we was 16, we was getting the stuff they said was illegal until you was 21. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people, I have friends that was getting in clubs. I see them in the club when they 15, 16. We was losing friends. Our friends was passing away when
Mm,
15, 16. And you don't see it at the time because everything's moving so fast. You just see it as like another one down. But you get to the ages 23, 24, and you're like, damn, like 15 to die when you're 15. My nephew just turned 13. He's a baby. That's 2 years
yeah.
after. So like I look back and I see like how fast like we had to adjust to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I said like a lot of people are housed, go to school, go to college, get their degree, get their job, and then move out. And they live their life. Like we was never housed. Like we could go outside whenever. My grandmother was sending me to the store when I was 6 years old. Like, I mean, like, so we just grew up too fast.
Nah, that's definitely a fact. And I love oh yeah, I know that Blockstar DJ. I was looking at your features too, and I was like, that's dope because like you're so talented. It's like, but then you work with other artists, and I'm like, yo, that's a different spin. It's like a different energy. Like, how did your collabs come about? By the way.
Those is like that's one of my brothers right there. So I knew him for like 10 years already. The
Okay.
boy who was in here earlier, Game Like Shamit, he's the one who like in ninth grade I was writing like poems. He's the one who told me to slap it on the beat, So he's the first one who threw on the instrumental, like, yo, read one of those poems you got, like, So that's like really what jumped it off, and that's Ruger Springsteen. That's the other person on the song. But
That's dope.
I need them around because like they're the ones who kind of like expand like my versatility in music. Like when I'm sticking to a conscious beat and I know we got to get like a song done, like they point me in the direction of the beats we need to use, like, or like try this, like, you know what I'm saying, and it's usually successful. So I need that around, like they bring it out, like,
That's dope. A team is always good to have, like having the right people in your corner.
right.
And where do you feel like you're the most creative? Like some people, it literally is the studio. Other people, it's like, yeah, I was tying my shoe the other day, and then
I think it's in the writing. Like I think I could write the
mhm,
story or like a movie or something. Or but the writing always been my thing. Like I've written since I was one of those spelling bee great debater kids, like debating, reading and shit, like reading Martin Luther King speeches in front of the whole school, like, so just like I'm the vocalizer of my team, like, you know what I'm saying, when something needs to be said and like they kind of like at a loss for words, like, because like they more hood than me, like, you know what I'm saying, they know how to talk
mhm.
with aggression, like I know how to, like, kind of mediate things and like resolve things, and so like I'm the social person, I'm the writer, like I'm the, so yeah, but that's just always been my strong suit, like writing is my thing.
That's so dope. So I just to ask, I know you get this question all the time, so I apologize because I hate asking questions that everybody else asks. But I have to know. So Kiante Robinson, right? The name, right? Is that your real name?
Yeah, that's my real name.
Okay. Did you ever hesitate in the beginning, like, do I really want to use my government? Because you know how people are. They're like, oh, don't put my government out there.
Yeah.
But you're just like, no, this is me.
Now, yeah, that's me. I mean, I got two middle names, so my name could be crazier. It could get crazier, you know. So like, my first and last, I just use it because like it's me. First of all, that's my whole image, me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just always what it been. And when you type that in on YouTube, it's the first thing that come up. You know what I'm saying? So I had to use
Yes.
somebody else's name, like, so it's like, why not? You know, and I got like my name is like, it's like a powerful story behind it. So I mean, I like the question. You know? I don't
Oh,
mind it.
awesome. I want to hear the story though.
Oh, nah, my dad is black. My mom's side of the family with my grandmother, she's really like traditional Puerto Rican. So, like when I was being named, like, you know, my name, it just sounded too black for my grandmother. She just wasn't with it. So she just gave me two of the most Spanish middle names ever. So my name is just like a big race war between both sides of my families.
I love that. Thank you so much for your time. Like, I really appreciate you opening up and talking about so many songs. I mean, honestly, I could have asked you about every single song on the project because your lyrics really stand out. But I was like, I mean, that's just a lot. So for you, is there anything you want people to know on the live right now, what they can look forward to, and just, your mind right now?
Stream the video. My new video, Mountains, is out. Help me get up there. And just stay positive. Like, the times is almost over. Just remember, we gotta destroy before we elevate. So this is the destruction. Wait for the elevation because it's gonna be real good. And
Hey,
shout out Shamira, you know, for setting this up. And it's my honor. No need to thank me. You know, it's an honor. It's a privilege. I'll do it anytime.
thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, shout out to Shamira. You know what? It's crazy because when I was listening to your music, I was like, wow, like I was really blown away. Like I could see you're definitely gonna have a Millie, like Millie's with an S. So that question had to be asked off the rip. So yes, thank you, and I look forward to seeing future things. And last but not least, any music videos that you want to drop later on for this project or that you're thinking of. You don't have to guarantee because I understand we're in a pandemic right now.
You have any suggestions? Which one should I draw? Let me know. Let me know.
That's a good question. So the beginning was the one that really had me like okay, because I don't know, I just had so much imagery. Like when you start talking about souls and I didn't even talk about this one line. They told me I had drive, and then they tried to spike my tires. I'm like, see, everybody in the industry knows that line.
Right.
Everybody can understand that one. So yeah, I don't know. It's just for me that song hit. It really, really hit.
I'm gonna look into it. I don't mind shooting a video for any of them. I didn't really have any in mind. Definitely okay, but I definitely wanted to do one outside of that. So I'll fuck around and do the beginning. Why not?
That would be dope. That would be dope. But honestly, they're all good. They're all good. So it's like, oh, grew up too. Grew up was crazy.
Oh yeah, grow up with little. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes, and everybody make sure Stream Mountains, make sure the project is great. You're not going to be able to not listen to it after today. If you listen to it today, because trust me, it's added to mine. So I will be listening to it after this as well.
And all y'all artists is on here, tune in. If y'all want to get asked some real questions, you know what I'm saying? You're right. Follow Sakara. I hope I pronounced that right.
You
'Cause
did.
I be having artists in here and they ask me where they could get interviewed at. Like, they don't want to get asked stupid questions, so y'all see it here first.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
We appreciate you.
Yes, for sure. So, yep, enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
All right, later.
I'll leave this.